Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to our February 10th, 2025 meeting for our council meeting for the City of Daly City. There are three ways to submit public comments. One, submit written comments by the meeting day. Number two, submit written comments during the meeting. And number three, attend the meeting in person. To submit written comments by the meeting day, please email our city clerk at cityclerk@dalycity.org and include public comment in the subject line. All written comments received by 4 p.m. on the meeting day will be provided to the city council prior to the meeting. But please note, any email comments received after 4 p.m. on the meeting date are not guaranteed to be received by the city council to the meeting. Prior to the meeting, comments are not read aloud into the record. During the meeting, you may also visit www.dalycity.org/agendas to submit comments using the public comment form to address the city council on a specific item or during the public comment period. And such comments are delivered to the city council and city staff during the meeting and may be read into record at the time they are received. I'd like to welcome everyone to our... I was like, am I hearing something? It's a ghost. And then to speak at the meeting in person, complete a speaker card located at the entrances over there and submit it to staff member as early in the meeting as possible. People with disabilities who require auxiliary aids or services in attending or participating in this meeting should call the city office of the city clerk as soon as possible. Okay. So before I begin, I want to begin our meeting with our land acknowledgement. The City of Daly City acknowledges that we are on the ancestral lands of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples. We recognize their enduring connection to this region and honor their history, culture, and contributions. As indigenous protectors of this land, we affirm their sovereign rights as the original inhabitants of this land and pay respects to the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples. So if we can please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, or Pledge to the Flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right. So with that, can we get a roll call, Ms. Clerk?
Ms. DiGiovanni,
Present.
Ms. Perano,
Present.
Mr. Sylvester,
Glenn Sylvester, present.
Ms. Manalo,
Present.
Dr. Rod.
Present. Okay. All right, so we have a few presentations today. The first one is we have a proclamation for Black History Month 2025. And before I call up our folks of celebration, I just want to read what we have in terms of the proclamation for Black History Month 2025. Whereas the month of February is officially celebrated as a national event honoring Black history, recognizing the contributions of African Americans in general and their part in the development of the United States in particular. And whereas in 1926, historian author Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who is known as the father of Black history study, introduced Negro History Week as a reaction to racism and to highlight the role the Black community have played in the development of civilization. And whereas in the 1970s, Negro History Week has rechristened Black History Week to reflect the changing language used to describe African Americans. And then in 1976, as America observed its bicentennial, Black History Week was expanded to a full month we celebrate today. And whereas every February since 1976, the US president issues a proclamation declaring the second month of the year Black History Month or National African American History Month. And whereas in 1992, the city began honoring Black Americans in Daly City with the Juneteenth event at Lincoln Park Community Center, resulting in the city's recognition of its now 33rd year celebration of Black history. And whereas African Americans residing in Daly City have contributed to the betterment of our community by their various contributions through their faith and fortitude, their skills, volunteerism, their strength and vitality, entrepreneurship, and business involvement. And whereas this year, 2025, we stopped to focus on our main theme, how far Look How Far We've Come, and also touching on the national theme, Black Americans and Labor, Look How Far We've Come. Spotlights the perseverance, faith, and fortitude of many African Americans who, through various and profound ways, through work and working of all kinds, free and unfree, skilled and unskilled, vocational and voluntary, intersect with this collective experiences of Black people, historically and culturally. In 2025, we in the United States celebrate the strides many African Americans have taken against unsurmountable odds to thrive, Kustawi, in Black history and the culture across time and space, and throughout the US, Africa, and the diaspora. And whereas in honoring Black African American history, life and culture in America, Daly City will feature an early afternoon event honoring this year's theme, spotlighting talented performers who will creatively reflect the various eras of Black history through theme-centered dance and music presentations by Dimensions, Extensions Performance Ensemble, DJ Russ of the world-famous show, voices of Cornerstone Choir, singers Billy Wiggins and Isaac Stevenson, theater artist Gary Stanford Jr., and stage presence company Chillin', the Conscious Poet, and Youth Destiny Scott. Soulful Southern Light refreshments will be served alongside vendors and community partner tables in the celebration of this month. The community is invited to this free event to be held February 22nd, 2025 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Daly City Rotunda, Chambers, and Rose Garden. So right here, so come through. Now, therefore, I, Dr. Roderick Doss Magboal, Mayor, and the members of the City Council do hereby proclaim the month of February 2025 as Black History Month and have set my hand and the seal of this city of Daly City, California, to be affixed this 10th day of February 2025. So signed and sealed by the Mayor and the City Council of Daly City on this day, and we would like to honor Noble Fields.
This is what 91 years old looks like.
Yes.
The podium.
Oh.
We're here at the podium.
Up on the stage?
Oh, right here.
Oh, okay, thank you.
This is for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
You can hold it.
Yeah.
What you able to, is this it?
that's it. We can, and then we can take a couple of pictures.
She's
and
gonna
have
speak.
any-
I don't say nothing?
No, you don't. No, you do. We can take some pictures, and you got this mic right here. So,
Hello, everyone. Ooh, it is today. Wow.
Hey, Sophie. Take your shirt off.
Oh, they can't see me?
Take them off. There you go.
This is it. You never know, get no better. But, well, as you can see, I'm not even more than two, I don't know, but it's me. What I'd like to do is let you know a little bit about myself, but all you gotta do is hit your little, then what, your watch, and that's for Noble Fields with Pride and Dignity. And you'll see my story. It's on the house, it's free. So anyway, am I supposed to say anything or just be here? I'm really happy, everybody. I mean, I'm just happy. I don't know what to say. But I could say a lot. But I'm not going to keep you because I know how it is.
Let me just jump in.
Jump in.
After 20 years veteran of the armed forces,
Yes.
she became the first Black woman in the United States to open a real estate school and business. 3 campuses, the famous one in front of Walgreens, coming up to the top of the hill on Mission Street, Noble Field School of Real Estate, one downtown and one in Oakland. And she has managed to license hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of real estate agents and appraisers over her career. And she had to fight really, really hard because they didn't want someone. Well, you can get it. You can figure out what it is.
Just tell them my color. They didn't like it. The Department
What color
of
is?
Real Estate.
What color is that?
Black?
Oh, okay, black. All right.
Yeah, the Department of Real Estate. I had to fight for it, but we did overcome. Okay.
You can do the honor of taking a photo with
Take a photo. We'll
You want-
take
you like
pictures.
the photo as well?
Everybody will take a picture.
Okay.
Right here?
Can everybody?
Yeah.
Have a frame here? Okay, we're all good? Okay.
Hey, come on, join me. You won't get this no more. No. I don't know, what do you think? Too crowded? Is it too crowded?
Hey, we're fine.
I don't know.
Hey, Noble.
It's open.
Noble, let me see the teeth. There you go.
Leslie.
Thank you so
welcome.
much. No, I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Okay. It's too bad one of my friends that missed it tonight, he had a problem. But anyway, everything's okay.
Noble will be also recognized at our Black History Month celebration,
Right on.
which is next Saturday after this one.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm beginning to wonder, am I the only black woman in America?
So I'd like just to open this up to my colleagues on the dais if you want to share any words or before we proceed.
May I?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I would just like to say personally, thank you very much, Mrs. Fields, for everything you've done, for trailblazing, for standing up and creating, your dynasty, your businesses, and helping so many people in the communities. It's just amazing. And you standing up, because how hard was it? It wasn't easy. You didn't just walk in the door and do it. You fought for it. So thank you. And thank you for your service. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Well, Ms. Fields, you demonstrate what 91 can be, and you're a strong black woman who broke those barriers, ceilings, glass doors, and what you did, you gave back to everyone, not just for your years of service in the military, but for everything you've done, and it's up to everyone else to keep your legacy and to keep fighting on, because we still got a ways to go, but we can do it in your name, your spirit. Thank you for choosing to be in Daly City, and I know that you serve with love. I've heard it from many of your students who now gone on to be very successful, very successful. And being a woman, a black woman, was even 3 times as hard, but, back when you started, we all know. And Daly City didn't have a pretty picture and a pretty history of it either. So we're moving forward, but with you, we got a long ways to go, and I look forward to hearing from you. And maybe you could tell us some stories on Black History Month. We'd love to learn more about you, and so we can carry on. So God bless you, and you're a testament to what fighting is, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, and God bless you.
If it hadn't been for COVID, I wouldn't have been like this. When they gave me that shot, I was too old to get it, but I got it, and my whole leg been stiffening up every day. It's been stiffening since February 3 years ago. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I just have to keep her off her skateboard now.
Yeah.
By the way, she chooses to live in Daly City even after she had half the money in the world. She still kept her place on Peoria Street.
Right on.
Read my
Beautiful.
story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
You need to get a book.
You write a book. You read my, you can.
She has a book on Amazon.
Oh, right on.
Thank you so much, y'all.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah. There's more comments from my colleagues, so.
I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for being a pioneer and breaking those barriers. And it's so beautiful to hear that you choose to live still here in Daly City. I live in that neighborhood right where you have your real estate agency there, passing by it and seeing the photographs that you had up, but really being able to create history in arts in the city of Daly City that is actually nationwide. For me, there have been a lot of writers, strong black women, and you represent the strong Black women that have been so fierce. And I'm so honored to be here in your presence. I wouldn't have known you were 91. That is pretty phenomenal, right? And as Maya Angelou says, one of, phenomenal women. And so I just want to say you are one of those phenomenal women. And so it's so wonderful to honor you this evening. And thank you for changing the lives of others, teaching them the tools to be able to get into real estate, especially through those barriers. You've changed many lives through that. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. In a few days, I'll be on KPIX or Channel 14 and channels that with an ad. I have an ad coming in about appraisal. I'm teaching it. Appraisal.
Oh, wow.
Channel 5,
I get this channel. What is it?
KPIX.
Maybe. What is it? Channel 5? Yeah. Anyway, it'll be coming on in a few days.
Right on.
They had the phone number wrong. Thank you very much, folks. I can talk all night and tell you a lot.
Of course.
But I know you're tired as me. And thank you so much for sharing your feelings for me.
Yeah. And we have one more, Vice Mayor, or a couple more.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, as you read the proclamation, and I was taking in a lot of the wording, and until you got to that last paragraph when you said you would like to present it to Ms. Fields, and I can only think of one Fields, and that's Noby Fields, because I obtained a real estate license at a minimum of 30 years ago. And I can't remember the exact date, but I think it's more than 30 years. And I've had it since then, and I have it today. And it would not, excuse me, would not be possible if it wasn't for the continuing education that you have offered as well. And I have taken advantage of that. A lot of people don't understand about real estate agents, and that is a motto that I learned. They help you make your dreams come true.
Amen.
And what's the American dream? Is to own your own place. And that's something I never forgot. In all these years of helping people, I didn't sell real estate, but I specialized in the area of loans. And that's getting loans creatively approved and helping all people from all walks of life. And I learned about that through having to renew every year and understanding DRE requirements. And to see that you've pioneered the aspect in making this training available to everyone and anyone is definitely a testament as to your love for people, including the service that you have provided to all of us. I will definitely make it a point to look up your book and read your book, and I wish you many more years of happiness and prosperity, and thank you, and thank you for everything you have done for not only the Black community, but actually for the entire community as a whole. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna
thank
stand
you.
up for that.
All right, Ms. Fields. All right. Thank you.
I know I gave you a proclamation, but like as a person that's a student of history and a teacher of history and a teacher of ethnic studies, I think one thing that stood out to me was, Daly City and what Councilmember DiGiovanni was alluding to was, like our history of redlining, and in terms of like Westlake neighborhood and you breaking down these doors, that's huge. That is such a huge legacy. And also to talk about like understanding of generational wealth. And, when we talk about generational wealth, and this is what Vice Mayor was alluding to, is like really owning property and owning pieces of land that can be appreciated over time. And not only you were able to create an institution, but you were able to educate generations of folks to have that awareness, that savviness and been able to grow beyond just that initial contact, but to further generations. So I just want to say thank you again. And we'll see you at the event. All right. So there's a lot more celebrations here as well. We have a very, very important person here, our Tita Perla Iberientos. It's her 90th birthday. We want to celebrate her as well. So before I want to read the proclamation, I know that we have a few gifts that we want to share with you, Tita Perla. So I think at this time I would like to just share out to my folks, my colleagues on the dais, and we have a lot of gifts for you. So you want to,
Thank you.
and we could all come down as well. All right. So before I read the proclamation, I think we'll just have all of our council members all come down, and we can do a photo op with our living legend. Dude, we have 2 living legends here. This is like so historical right now. This is wild.
This is enjoy.
I'll hold it for you, Tita Perla. Oh, Vice Mayor's honorable.
Come on, he's coming.
Thank you. She was born on Valentine's.
Isn't that a great day?
Thank you. Nice meet you. Thank you.
So don't go anywhere yet. Proclamation for y'all.
Okay, this is my enjoy.
Oh, careful. They're injured.
Oh no, I'll go back there and we'll okay. So before you go, Tita Perla, I would like to read this proclamation for you by all of us. All right, so proclamation to Tita Perla G. Barrientos. If nobody knows what Tita means, it means like auntie in Tagalog. So whereas affectionately known as Tita Perla G. Barrientos is a distinguished community leader and dedicated public servant who has devoted her life to empowering and uplifting the Filipino-American community in Daly City and beyond. And whereas on February 14th, 2025, Tita Perla will celebrate her 90th birthday, marking a remarkable milestone in her life. Whereas Tita Perla's unwavering commitment to public service is exemplified by the critical role she plays on the board of the Filipino Bayanihan Resource Center, PBRC, an organization dedicated to developing and empowering the Filipino community by promoting dignity, equality, and independence. And whereas in 1992, Tita Perla was appointed to the Daly City Public Library's Board of Trustees as its first Filipino-American member, reflecting her dedication to civic engagement and community development. And whereas Tita Perla's leadership and advocacy have been instrumental in advancing the socio-political issues of Filipino Americans, including initiatives such as smoking cessation programs, legal clinics, voter registration drives, and leadership development workshops. And whereas Tita Perla's dedication to humanitarian causes extends beyond local efforts, as she actively participated in relief initiatives for natural calamities in the Philippines, showcasing her deep-rooted connection to her heritage. And whereas the Tita Perla's enduring commitment to public service and community empowerment, and continues to inspire and positively impact the lives of many. Now therefore, I, Dr. Roderick Das Magboal, Mayor, and the members of the City Council hereby proclaim February 14th, 2025 as Perla G. Ibarrientos Day. And then, so in recognition of her outstanding contributions to the community and unwavering dedication to the public service, signed and sealed by the Mayor and City Council of Daly City, this 10th day of February 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then here,
Wow. What can I say?
Hold the mic down.
Okay. Mayor Dr. Rod Magboal, Vice Mayor Mr. Glenn Sylvester, Jocelyn Manalo, Teresa Puranyo, and Pam De Giovanni. Thank you and good evening. And thank you all for coming. This is wonderful. My goodness, what a beautiful gift for my 90th birthday. So I could always read this one, Well, I never dreamed that I could reach this age. Thank God for that. Never dreamed that one of these days I will be honored here in this chamber, Daly City, which I love very much. Thank you for loving me, and I love you guys. Thank you for this wonderful gift. Tonight, I'm not blowing my horn. You did blow it, So, but anyway, I would like to invite all of you. I'm supposed to celebrate my birthday this coming Friday. But due to my injury, this one shoulder, I couldn't do anything. So I make a concession with my city manager here. So I am inviting you all, March 21, which is a Friday, right here in the lobby. Join me for dinner. You are all invited. Thank you very much for this wonderful gift. Thank you, and I love you.
and with that, I would like to open it to Dais, Councilmember. Oh.
Excuse me.
Oh, no
can I
worries.
have
Go ahead.
picture with PBRC board?
Oh yeah, for sure, of course.
Come on. You are the founders of PBRC. Come on, Jojo. Come on. Okay, come on, Jojo.
Sorry, tita.
Okay. All right, come on. Come on, Jojo, on the other side.
Hi, Attorney. Nice to see you.
Okay.
Lisa, come here.
Come on, Lisa. I cannot hold that. Thank you. So just remember, I am the oldest here. I have the power. Thank
Friday, Valentine's Day.
What is it, February the 14th? Oh, okay, I'm waiting for the 10th.
So with that, I want to have some of my colleagues on the dais to share some words. So Councilwoman Manalo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to say, Tita Ninang Perla Abrientos, happy 90th birthday. It was mentioned earlier that you were born on Valentine's Day. And so if we think about that, it's about love and your love for the community and giving back. And so It is so fitting that your birthday is on Valentine's Day. And so thank you so much for what you've done and what you continue to do, your heart to serve in PBRC, and also being one of the founders for the Filipino American Democratic Club of San Mateo County, and, you know, being very active also in that realm. And so many ways you've given back and been active here in our community. We've said it many times before. You are like the Energizer Bunny that keeps on going. And it is a testament as you hear her today. And so we are looking forward to celebrate with you in your special birthday. Happy, happy birthday. We love you, Tita Perla.
Councilmember Prano.
What can I say that everyone else isn't already saying? Thank you. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for everything you do when no one's watching. Thank you for taking care and being kind to the whole community, to the world, to the Philippines, for those in need. You know, that's like a testament. And we all strive our best to be good people in the community. And if we could be like you, a little bit like you know? So thank you so much. Thank you.
Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Well, Tita Perla, one thing I want to say is that most of you know that through the typhoons in the Philippines and through things she always made sure, you know, that the PBRC was there. And I would say that you are the heartbeat of the PBRC, because when you think about the organization and how it's always run, there's always a vision of you always seeing there. You have your paper, you have your pen, you make sure that everything is done, everybody surrounds you, and then it just flows from there. It flows because you're doing it with your heart. Because I remember even the very first, wasn't the very first typhoon, but it was one of the ones that the hardest hit. And you guys came in for this council, and you got boats. And I remember that of what the people needed. You knew what they needed. And the people went over there. I think it was Commissioner Dory went on the trip, I believe, to make sure that everybody there were given the tools to revive where they live. You know, it's one thing to give money. It's one thing to send your greetings. But they actually went there and made sure it was purposeful. Purposeful giving is what it's about. And I think that's something that we can never say that you don't do, because it's done with a purpose, and you make sure the people can rebuild with their lives, and even recently with the other typhoon as well. So God bless you, and I know that there's many things with your family, and your God bless your husband and your life, and have you given back. And I know you have a little bit of pain, so we're going to pray for you to be well and get rid of that pain, because we're not used to seeing you in pain. But, you know, you're 90, but you're like 20. So you will keep going, and blessings will flow, because you do everything purposely, and you do it from the goodness of your heart. Even if those people know that her church, where she spent many years, the Presbyterian Church, on Sundays with the food and giving back with that community as well. So it wasn't just in the PBRC. So you are the heartbeat. And I think that needs to be recognized. So that heartbeat needs to keep going pain-free. So we love you, and it's March 21st. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember DiGiovanni. Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, whenever I speak, I try to speak of personal experience, so this is what I'm going to do now. It wasn't until 2016 when I was first elected to this council, and I didn't have a clue who Tita Perla was. But you know what? I quickly learned. And for the most part, many of us here have been to the home of Tita Perla because she invited us to her home. And it doesn't have to be a special occasion. Just come on over and enjoy and spend some time together. And what I've learned over the years, no matter what happens here in Daly City, no matter the disagreements that come about in the city, Tita Pearl has always been unbiased, and she doesn't take a side. What she does is she listens, and it's up to each individual to decide what they want to do, but she's a great listening ear. And as I'm sit here tonight and think of Miss Noby Fields and Tita Perla, who are about the same age, it's remarkable to me that both these strong women have done so much for not only Daly City, but I believe the community as a whole. Come on, 90-something years old? I mean, by my calculations, I have about 20 years to catch up. And I just want to let Ms. Fields know that this is how we love our legacy citizens of Daly City. City Hall is your hall as well. And that's why, as you can see, Tita Perla has many of the accolades. If I think of the issue of being blind, if you just close your eyes and you speak to someone, and this is what I get from Tita Perla, it makes no difference as to the color of your skin or who you are. If we were all blind, we are all human beings. And that's what I got from Tita Perla. She accepts you. And I think as a result, the world or Daly City is a much better place. So Tita Perla, thank you so much for your service to our community. And tonight, having the honor of meeting Ms. Noby Fields as well, I want to reiterate, we thank the both of you. And as far as I'm concerned, today is your day, and we love you for that. Thank you so much.
I feel really, really grateful right now. And, you know, a lot of times, like for many of us on the dais, y'all have witnessed and experienced with me, like the type of grief I've been experiencing over the past few years and seeing many people that are younger than me passing away. It almost feels like it's almost routine, like I have a person on the memory of adjournment. And been doing a lot of reflection these past few years of like a lot of the folks that have been passing away, from family members to former students that I've mentored to those students that became friends. And when I think about like grief, it's got me into a really deep reflection about like, what do we learn from this grief? And what I learned from this grief is something that our vice mayor talked about in terms of legacy. And what type of legacy did you want to set forth? And when I think about having two living legends in this chamber right now, this is truly amazing. Like we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the work that y'all put in. And I stand on your shoulders and hope that I can carry the torch as strong as you both have. And Tita Perla, thank you for accepting me. I always drove by when PBRC was on Junipero Serra. We've always drove by, and you know, a lot of my work doing the Filipino community was in Excelsior. And folks from Daly City were like, "Oh, you need to stop by PBRC." I'm like, I'm scared to go in there. I don't know why. But then when I got to meet you, and I met you the first time, and you made it feel like home. And in the word of PBRC, Filipino Bayanihan Resource Center, Bayanihan is the key word. And if people are unfamiliar what Bayanihan means, it's like the spirit. It's like the idea of service, the idea of belonging, the idea of if somebody needed help, no questions asked, I'm going to help you. A picture in my mind that always comes up, and I think Ray Satori talked about this in a speech where he said that, Filipinos have this this iconic image of during times of floods, like Filipinos would have these homes that were called bahay kubus, that were these elevated homes, and it's on stilts. And when floods came through, the community, with no questions asked, would help that family lift that community, that bahay kubu, into higher ground. And so when I think about both of what you all have both contributed to this community, the question dawned upon me, like, am a doctorate, I am mayor, I am professionally where I want to be at. I have 2 young kids where they're going to be thriving and going to become somebody. And sometimes people go through these like middle life crisis, like, okay, what now? Am I going to buy a sports car? But then my question was, what type of elder do you want to become? Before I become an answer, what type of elder do I want to become? And one thing that I've seen from both of you is one of service, one of selflessness, and this ideas of legacy and going beyond you all. And what can you provide for the next generation to pass it forward to the next generation? And the underlining thing that I hear from the both of you all is the idea of love, right? Especially in times like this where it just feels so hurtful. And folks are, Councilmember Manalo talked about it last year in terms of like one of the largest social issues that we're going through is the issue of loneliness. And what y'all have provided is this institution of love that I'm grateful for, that you all have provided for all of us in our community. So thank you. Tita Perla, thank you. Wow. I feel like we should go take a toast or something. It's like, here, I got some champagne for everybody. I'm like, just joking. Okay. Now, thank you for spending a Monday night with all of us. I know that we could all be doing something else, but to be here with us and to honor you all, I wish everybody has that chance to feel seen and acknowledged, and to be on that platform where your community can recognize who you are and what you were about and your legacies as well. So thank you. Okay, so we're gonna shift gears to item number 3. We have a presentation by HIP Housing's 2025 calendar contest winner. And we're gonna bring down HIP Housing's Fund Development Director, Sabrina Wilson, and HIP Housing Board Member Alan Underwood. So welcome to our chambers. Welcome, Daly City.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council.
So I'm not in my 90s, but I hope to get there someday. Okay, so tough act to follow, but I already know I'm not gonna have the energy or look as good as the 2 legends here, so I'll need to stop and get some tips later. My name is Alan Underwood, and in my professional career, I serve as part of the leadership team at Kaiser Permanente here. And we have a mission at Kaiser to improve the health of our members and the communities we serve, including right here in Daly City. And it's really in that professional capacity that we and I have seen the impact that housing insecurity has on an individual, on a family, and on our communities, which is why it is my privilege and honor to serve on the board of HIP Housing. A little bit of background: since 1972, HIP Housing has been helping low-income San Mateo County residents find and maintain affordable housing, and we're listed in all 21 housing elements in San Mateo County, including Daly City, as a trusted affordable housing partner. Last year, we worked with over 3,900 individuals and provided housing to over 750 low-income households throughout the county. Here in Daly City, we've got many programs. We've helped 79 individuals who applied to the Home Sharing Program, 13 families enrolled in self-sufficiency programming, 30 tenants housed under Property Management Division, and 10 individuals through our new Housing Readiness Program. So on behalf of HIP Housing, I'd like to thank the Honorable Mayor and the members of the the Daly City Council for your enduring support of our organization, and as a symbol of our appreciation for your partnership, we are here to present with you our 2025 calendar. And Sabrina's going to give a little bit more background on what the calendar represents.
Of course, of course. As you heard, we do a lot of projects. We hear so many stories. We help so many people. But we do every year a fun project that involved all the communities, all the schools in the San Mateo County. So we asked to all the children for the elementary school from kindergarten to grade 5 to draw a picture of a home and also write a little quote about what to have a home represent to them, right? This year, the project was really successful. We got more than 550 entries. It was really hard to judge. The talent of those children is just amazing. I have just here one for January. It's a peaceful, beautiful house, so well done, from a girl of 4th grade from Foster City. And the quote is, "My home is a peaceful place. It's surrounded by nature. This is where I feel safe and loved." So it's really an amazing project. And we have, of course, 12 winners as the calendar, and plus one, the cover page, so 13 winners every year. And we celebrate them at the end of December with a small party, and really just to celebrate the children and their family for what they do, and all our donors, of course, for all the support. And we printed almost this year 5,000 copies of the calendar. So we have some copy for you here. I will leave at Annette kindly. And so just a reminder about all the work that Hip Housing does. And just to conclude, I really want to thank you for all the support that you always give to our organization. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I guess before you jam out of here, I think we have some comments from from my colleagues, starting with Council Member Manalo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much for the presentation. I just wanted to say that I think it's so important that people know about the work that you all do, really ensuring that those in our community, are stabilized in homes, and that with Hip Housing, you create programs that are unique, being able to match people and, people that have homes, and being able to rent out rooms and having, ensuring that people have that opportunity and helping in that process. I know that, it's so wonderful to see these calendars, and you come every year, and this is really one of those highlights where we get to see really the artwork of our young people, and really reminds us of how much work we need to do to continue to create more affordable housing, to continue to sustain families in housing. And so thank you so much. Especially, that's a lot of entries. And I know last year we had a Daly City, one of the Daly City youth that was able to be one of the months. And so thank you again for all the work. I know this is just a piece of it, and that partnership that you all have to really ensure that we continue to push the needle for affordable housing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I just want to emphasize that we help the families, but also, a lot of seniors, which are the fastest growing population in the country and in San Mateo, of course. So that's a big issue, and we are really trying to do our best to help them.
Thank you.
Any other? Councilmember Di Giovanni.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for raising the part about the seniors as well, because when people think about that, they don't think, because there's such fixed incomes, right? And then I know that you guys transition according to whatever is going on. That's the great thing about Hip Housing, is that you guys have been able to take it, create more programming, and try to get in touch with everyone and make sure not just the rooms for rent, but there's so many different levels that can be done. And if someone needs someone to come in, a senior, and they do a lot of vetting, they sit down and make sure that it's the right fit for one another, and they, so people know, it's not gonna be just a stranger that you're gonna read, there's a room for rent. These people care that it works well and that there's a perfect fit. And maybe they need someone to clean their house, and it's a student here, international student or whomever needs a room, and they don't have to pay the rent, but they have a room. So the idea here is, like you said, to keep people housed, to keep them happy, and to keep them inside a place, not just so they can feel at home, just like these. They want to feel at home, right? So thank you for all the work you guys do. It's incredible. I was at the Board of Supervisors when you guys spoke there recently, and it's incredible. So we'll keep supporting, and I don't think that, we don't know what's gonna happen in a different level, but we will make sure, somehow, some way, the HIP housing will be supported. Thank you very much, and thank you for everything.
So I'd like to just call out that HIP in the HIP housing is Human Investment Project.
Correct.
It's really around supporting people realizing and having the ability
Yeah.
to realize their best selves, right? And having that security as a launching pad to future success and
For-
stability. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
I have one more, Council Member Perano.
Thank you. Thank you for this.
It's
I think it's
incredible.
fantastic. And it really does tell you everything. It's the hopes and dreams, and especially coming from the children. So thank you so much for what you do. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Thank you, Mayor. I always talk about personal stuff, but before I do, I'll ask you a personal question.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm an open book, so.
Oh, okay. Well, you had made mention that you were impressed about the 90-year-olds, and you hope to be there one day. Can I ask you, how old are you?
I'm 39.
Okay. The reason why I asked that question, because I've been a Kaiser member before you were born.
I'm sure.
So welcome aboard, and
Okay.
I'm still a member today. I'm very familiar as to what HIP housing does, especially in providing housing and also addressing the loneliness issue, especially for our senior citizens, which can also help if they got a place, and we try to match them up. I was looking at your calendar and I see some similarities, and I'm going to talk about January and June. Okay, and what I want to make mention is the water. And it's all appropriate because down in Foster City, they have the water canal and the waterways. And for these children to draw a picture which contains water shows as to how much work went into this and picking and choosing. Outstanding. And when I saw Foster City, and I says, oh yeah, the kids in the water. And the last one I wanted to make mention was December. And I see you kind of like nodding your head, because what was apparent to me is the statement, my home is my candy land, where memories and dreams are as sweet as chocolate, and love is sprinkled everywhere. I mean, fifth grade wrote this, and it really means a lot. So I want to say thank you for everything that HIP Housing does, and also for Kaiser to being a part of it, you being on the board. There's also another JPA or organization that helps with housing. And as a matter of fact, a council member in South San Francisco had enabled him to buy his first home through this organization. And I'm going to be checking to get your contact information, because I'm going to reach out to you. It's called HEART, Housing Endowment and Regional Trust, and is of San Mateo County, and they do good things as well. But I say that to say this. Thank you both, and thank you to Kaiser for allowing you to be a part of such a great program. Thank
It's
you
really
so
my
much.
honor to serve on the board.
Yeah. No, thank you and very much. And again, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned another organization because we have quite a new program, Housing Readiness, and we are trying to help a lot of people to navigate through the system, and not necessarily they need to find a solution through HIP housing, but we can suggest them other organizations. So, you know, you need a village to move a mountains, and that's exactly what we do in the community in the county of San Mateo.
Did you hear the last statement that the mayor had made about the Bahay Kubo?
Yeah, it's a house.
Yep.
It's a Filipino,
That's right.
it's a
That's right.
Filipino tradition of whenever there's a storm, everybody gets together, the whole village, and they pick it up and move it to higher ground. And you just even mentioned about the village.
Well, I just want to say thank you for coming out, and I'm just going to keep it short because I know everybody have your day or night as well. So just thank you for coming in and engaging the youth. And, you know, when we talk about housing, it's not just people that are of age, but it's also like a multi-generational issue that people can engage in understanding housing and what housing means. And, you know, thank you for being that platform for these youth and being advocates for housing in our county.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right. Okay. Next down on the agenda is the approval minutes for a regular meeting of January 27, 2025.
Motion to approve?
We got a first.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And so no no's and no objections. Okay, so passes. Can I move on to item number 5, approval of agenda for regular meeting of February 10th, 2025.
Motion to approve regular agenda?
Okay, we got a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Passes. Next up is oral comments. So just a quick note, speakers are limited to 2 minutes unless the mayor modifies. And it being a public comment, council cannot take action on any matter raised under this item, but I'm pretty sure staff can take notes. Okay, so we have one person for general comment. We have Andrew Siri from Auto Sound Performance. Welcome on, Dan. Oh, legacy business.
My name is Andrew Siri. I'm a business member in Daly City as well as a resident. And I wanted to bring the attention that I sent you guys an email beginning of the week. I want to see if it was received or discussed. I don't know how much time I have up here, so long and short of it is I was wondering the procedures and the follow-up and the auditing process of the procurement for equipment, especially automotive equipment, which I specialize in the city. I brought a short summary, but long story short, Daly City benefits from retail sales. Vehicle equipment alone, we did $740,000 in sales with municipalities in the General Bay Area. Some of them are SF Rec and Park, Sonoma County Fleet, UCSF, San Francisco Sheriff Department. So I'm doing my thing to generate taxable income. Unfortunately, 0% of it comes from the city of Daly City. And I've kind of been, I don't know if we could say stonewalled, but I feel like there's procedures in place. There's a couple penal code things for procurement and multiple bids and reviews. And there's some small local business stuff within that PC that allows small business like myself to be, I guess you could say, equal opportunity to get the revenue. So I wanted to see what the procurement is and what the policies are and who's regulating and governing that they're being followed, because other counties I deal with have a very clear and concise website. You can check to see the bids and all the good stuff, and haven't seen that done on Daly City side. So I want to know if everyone that's responsible for those sequence of events is being held to it for the benefit of all the businesses in the city.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you still have 13 seconds.
Well, I'm hoping for some follow-up because I've addressed a lot of members, the city manager and the city attorney. They've all been copied in the email.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to see some proactiveness and getting a resolution, a better system in place.
Well, thank you for bringing it to our attention. We'll keep note of it, and hopefully somebody from our staff will reach out.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. As far as other comments, we have another comment for item number 7, But besides that, I don't see any other public comment. Moving down to the consent agenda.
Through the mayor.
Yes,
I'd like to pull item number 6 and 7.
okay. 6 and 7.
Thank you.
Okay.
With the exception of item number 6 and 7, I move the agenda.
6 and 7.
Second?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I see you got a card. Okay, yeah, I see it.
For number 7.
For number 7, so 6 and 7 as it was, Councilmember Manalo? And you request the motion
Yeah,
other than 6 and 7?
Yep, I
Okay.
did already.
We did have a second, right? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, so we have item number 6, and we'll have Mr. Chu. Come on down.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. Item number 6, this is to authorize the city manager to execute the primary grant agreement with the San Mateo County Transit Authority. Historically, the Transportation Authority has executed separate funding agreements and memorandums of understanding for each phase of the project that's funded by Measure A and Measure W. Oftentimes, the city gets grant-funded projects with Measure A and/or Measure W through the Transportation Authority. The Transportation Authority wanted to streamline the contracting process, and they developed a new primary grant agreement through which the Transportation Authority and local agencies, in terms of documenting the structure and the relationship for each of the projects. Once they have this primary grant agreement, then they will execute individual project supplements with each details for the specific project that is funded. In order to be eligible for the Transportation Authority Measure A and Measure W funding over the next 10 years, they require sponsors, governing boards to adopt resolutions authorizing the sponsors, chief executive, mayor, chair, or designee to sign the primary grant agreement with the Transportation Authority. Some projects that we have done through the years with Measure A and Measure W are the Mission Streetscape improvement, Vision Zero design standards, and also the John Daly Boulevard / Skyline Boulevard pedestrian crossing connection project. Those are all supported with grant funding from Measure A and Measure W. At this time, there's no appropriation needed. Should the city be successful in getting new grant-funded projects, we'll come back to council and request appropriate granting authority. This item is just for basically authorizing the city manager to be able to execute the primary grant agreement with the Transportation Authority so that we can continue to get these grant funds and operate in a more efficient manner for the Transportation Authority. That concludes my presentation. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Chu. Questions?
Excuse my
Councilmember Dijon.
laryngitis. I just wanted to make sure that people highlight what the work is done by our public works and how they secure grants, funding, and all our departments do that very well, and commend you and your staff, because with all the infrastructure and the unsurety of getting funds, we have to keep and maintain. It's not easy. And Mr. Chu, your department, and as well as planning, and I see Ms. Mothershead, that all of you always look, and including Ms. Denise, your department, our library as well, are always doing grants, looking for funding. So I want people to know that, and it's not an easy process. It's not easy with the TA and all that, but you do it, and I want to commend it, and that we've already done so many, and that they seem to be, because we've done them before, I think they know that everything goes to Daly City, at least has a great reputation. From what I understand, people at the TA commend our staff for doing a great job. So thank you very much, and it was really for the public to know, because they were concerned about infrastructure and what's going to happen. We're not going to have the money. Just know they're doing the due diligence and going above and beyond. To all of you, thank you, and you as well, Mr. Chu, and your staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Perano.
Thank you. So this is a little off topic, but in your vicinity, I can't tell you a day passes when someone asks me about the road on Mission Street. So I have to go into the information. And so I thought maybe you could briefly explain it so that people know it's not the city of Daly City not wanting to fill potholes. It would be a perfect time to give a little information out there for the community, if you don't mind, would you?
Sure,
Thanks.
happy to.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Yeah,
Chair.
thank you for the question. We get that a lot as well, people calling in about Mission. Mission Street is within the jurisdiction of the state, so that is Caltrans jurisdiction. We have notified Caltrans of the condition of Mission Street. They actually have indicated to us that they do have plans to do some improvements there. So there will be definitely more to come, but it is Caltrans jurisdiction. Caltrans does have a service request portal where people can report issues and concerns that they have, and then Caltrans will provide a response to those that report through their customer service requests.
Thank
Through
you.
the chair.
Thank you.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay.
Councilmember
Yeah.
Manalo.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for that. Actually, very recently, and for the record, Madam City Clerk, I've been working with Senator Scott Wiener and asking him about exactly what you mentioned, Councilmember Prano. A lot, Mission Street. It's been an issue. People think we are the ones that actually control Mission Street, but it's actually Caltrans, as you mentioned. And so, working with Senator Wiener, I know last year when I was mayor, we sent a letter over to Senator Scott Wiener, since it's the jurisdiction of the state. And just very recently, through correspondence, I've actually followed up with him again to ask for that support. And he had literally just told me to work directly with his staff. And so in that regards, I'm very hopeful in that. I know that we've been advocating for that in that respect. And so I just wanted to share that news.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, City Manager.
Talk about stuff that's not on the agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to point out that staff has also came up with some language to put in our community outreach letters that go out periodically. We've been drafting language to spell out those exact things that Caltrans is responsible, the state is responsible for that section. And we're happy. I've talked to the Director of Public Works about potentially coming up with agreements with Caltrans where we are able to go out and make some small repairs, but all the advocacy, it helps us to get to that point. So thank you, council member, as well. Thanks for bringing it up.
And for finding a solve in the interim, if I may, I want to acknowledge the city manager that he's been able to try to find a solve while we wait on the state. But I know the residents watching, as well as us when we go on Mission Street, it's a pretty bumpy ride. So thank you for bringing that.
So through the mayor, respectfully, that is not
Councilmember
part of the
Giovanni.
agenda item.
There are items on, if we look at the agenda, I think Councilmember Prano, you mentioned this because it was one of the items talked about. The mission, it was actually, if you look at the packet, it signals Mission Road. So, thank you.
All right, I think everybody was able to speak on the matter. Can we get a motion to approve item number 6?
Motion to approve item number 6. Thank you so much for the clarification. It's really, really just a process for us to do so that you can all get these funds encumbered in a quick fashion. And I know that that's what this is about today. So thank you.
I'd like to second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No abstentions and no nays, okay?
Thank
Motion
you.
passes. Okay. Next agenda item is item number 7. Consider partnership with Athletes for a Better Community at the War Memorial Community Center and the Pacelli Gymnasium. So we have Ms. Denise Brown.
Hello. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. I would like you to consider partnership with the Athletes for a Better Community, Inc. to provide a Mayor's Cup basketball tournament for youth through seniors on Saturday and Sunday, March 29th and 30th, at the War Memorial Community Center and provide workshops, clinics for the youth on Sunday, April 6th and 27th at the Pacelli Event Center, and consider fee waivers. The Athletes for a Better Community is an organization that runs basketball workshops and tournaments for Bay Area-based youth. Their members reside in different cities in the Bay Area, with some participants residing in Daly City. Beginning in 1989 and the early 90s, they were active in Daly City organizing basketball tournaments that were named the Mayor's Cup. Then the Filipino Bayanihan Resource Center, who received tobacco cessation and gang prevention grants, requested them to run sports programs as well, in partnership with the school district and the city of Daly City. The Athletes for a Better Community is inviting the city of Daly City to partner for its Mayor's Cup basketball tournament on Saturday and Sunday, March 29th and 30th. As a partner, the city would host the event at War Memorial Community Center and promote the event to the Daly City community, requiring that 75% of each team's players be Daly City residents. They would also like to return to the city in partnership to provide workshop clinics for the youth at the Pacelli Event Center on Sunday, April 6th and 27th. The City Council may consider becoming an official event partner and waiving fees and other requirements for the rental of the War Memorial Community Center from 10 to 7 on Saturday and Sunday, the 29th and 30th of March, and workshops at the Pacelli Event Center from 10 to 4 on Sunday, April 6th and 27th. The chart below depicts all costs associated with the rental. As the Athletes for a Better Community has already submitted payment for the $800 refundable deposit and the $229 non-refundable insurance fee, the total rental fees requested to be waived are the amount of $7,020. Staff recommends that the City Council provide direction to staff on event partnership and fee waivers. Not only myself, but JoJo from the ABC, Athletes for a Better Community, is present with his partners.
All right, thank you, Denise, for your presentation. We're going to open up for discussion, or do I open up for public?
If there's
I think there's one. So I guess before we start with our discussion on dais, we have one person that submitted a speaker card, Tim Schultz from Athletes for a Better Community. Come on down.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members. My name is Tim Schultz. I'm Associate Chief Operating Officer for Seton Medical Center, but today I'm here as a private citizen to share my passion with ABC, Athletes for a Better Community. As Denise has mentioned, this organization, which was founded as a nonprofit to help the youth and teach them discipline, various formations, self-esteem development, and character building through sports programming. I call it basketball diplomacy. I've been a part of the organization for some time, and I've seen many of the youths grow through this program, using basketball as a means to improve themselves, to grow in their career. And many of the individuals in the organization have gone on to have very successful careers over the years. So I'm really excited for this. I believe this program will provide a lot of benefits to the community, to the youth, to the seniors, and is really an opportunity for us to give back to the community, right, for what this community has done for many of us. ABC is ultimately sponsored by many of the local business owners and organizations in the area that want to provide funds to help offset some of the costs. One of those organizations is Tony's Restaurant, Lingnum. They're a major sponsor of ABC and have been for many, many years. So we're really excited for this opportunity to bring this organization to Daly City. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz. With that, I'd like to open this up to dais. Councilmember Manalo.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, and I thank you for your presentation, Denise, on this, as well as a public comment provided. I think, it's when you see this type of program that brings in health it's so important. I think that we've seen even nowadays the rise of diabetes in young people. I have a niece that actually is now pre-diabetic, and she's in high school. So when you think about the importance of having, movement and sports, it's not only obviously the benefits of health, but it was mentioned around also the benefits of teamwork, and also, just that camaraderie. And so if I look back, probably in my youth, I probably remember the old games from when there were competitions in the past. And it's really great to see that type of tournament come back, because one key portion that stuck out to me in this presentation was that requiring 75% of each team players be Daly City residents. And so I think that's really wonderful. Who doesn't like watching like a good game, right? I think that it's going to be friendly, amazing competition, but also just bringing people together, it's seeing also businesses get involved because they want to bring in something good for the community, and seeing where the foundation of this came from really in the past, which was really to influence the youth for better healthy options, is really great. And to see it come back is wonderful as well. I brought that up as far as the pre-diabetes because I think that it's important for young people to get involved, and it's great to see that this program would also provide some training for the youth and young people. I think, I always say this, when you go to a Warriors game, I think sometimes, like, if it's Filipino Heritage Night, I'm like, I think everyone from Daly City is over there, And so if you think about also the sport and how much people will get involved, whether it's Filipinos, non-Filipinos, I just think there's a lot of love for basketball in the city of Daly City. And I'm sure you can attest to that, Ms. Denise Brown, over the years and over time. And so I'm definitely a proponent for this. I think that it is bringing community all together, and that's something really amazing to see. So really excited to see that, and excited on my end if this pulls through. I'm a proponent for it, to see Mayor Rod Dasmagboal give that mayor's cup in the and so thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Any other?
I think I love that I've learned the history. This is the first time I knew the history of it. And not to date anybody, but were you guys a part of the original team? Or any of you? Really? I know you. It's okay. It's okay. Maybe you were a child. It's all right. So that part was exciting to learn the history. And then how many years were you, is it okay to ask me? Kind of exciting, actually, because it's part of our history, right, Mayor? If you don't mind me asking them. How many years did you do it before you just stopped?
I started in '89.
Wow. That's too bad it stopped, but it's nice to see something come back, right? And thanks to the encouragement of our director here, I think that part is really exciting. And is it going to be co-ed, or is it going to be girl clinics, boy clinics?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. I'm excited, actually.
Yeah.
Do you mind? Is it kind of
I
exciting?
don't mind at all. Come on.
Because it's a part of our history.
Yeah.
Kind of like
More
the hip-hop.
information we got.
A resurgence.
Yes.
Oh, come right here.
Oh.
Don't fight over it.
It'll be COVID.
Oh, great. And then, let's see. So that part, learning about the history is fantastic.
Actually, we might want you to step on the mic so that people
So
in
we
the
can
public
hear.
or in
I told you I had to be close to
people in the community could hear you
So
through the volume.
you were the founder?
Yes, I am the founder.
Oh,
Yes.
such an honor to meet you of being part of the history. Because when I was reading the report, I was like, wait, in 1989, 1990s, and then it stopped. And I was like, oh, that's too bad it stopped, right? But you're back, and thanks for coming back and taking care of the youth. And will it be free, clinic free for the kids?
Yes, it'll be free. Yes.
And that's even better because, you know, what things are happening right now with, you know, economics, socioeconomics. So there's no barrier for any child or families, right? So I thank you for bringing it back. And you're still here.
I'm still here.
And you're still here. I still see that energy. So I'm looking forward to seeing the energy on the court. And then I know that if you're going to be part of the coaching part, it's something that's really, I guess it's something special that gives back, right?
Correct.
And these kids become very, very close to all of you and stuff. So it's exciting. History revives positively. And so thank you for that. I'm really excited that it's going to be something positive, a light. And I know that you guys are completely dedicated to everything you do in this city, everything. You always give more than 100%.
I love the city.
Yeah, you do. It shows. It shows, all of you.
I grew up here, yes.
I see Tony and I see JoJo. So I know that you guys go above and beyond. So and everything. So thank you so much. And thank you to the mayor. The part of our history, again, just like tonight is big history night, right?
Got it.
And then bringing it back.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All I can say is thank you, and I look forward to watching our mayor give the cup. Thank you. Sounds like
Thank
fun.
you so much. Thank you.
Any other comments? Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Thank you so much. I just have a few questions. Denise, I think maybe you can answer. No, but you stay, please. No, but Denise.
Tag team.
In your presentation, you had made mention 75%. Does that mean 75% of Daly City residents?
Yes.
Okay, my concern is, what if you don't have the 75%? Will it still go on? In other words, I don't want you to be limited, saying you have to meet 75%. Maybe, I was thinking 50% plus one, but do you think you can get to 75%?
We have a lot of friends. I mean, that's actually the word came out already, so it went out. But if ever, I mean, we can get the 75% participant, we'll be open to let bring the percentage down a little bit.
Good. That's what I'm looking at, especially in surrounding cities. I think it's a way to collaborate and get them involved, and maybe you can charge these surrounding cities on a sliding scale. If it's free for Daly City residents, that's great. We can get more. But if you have some folks in South San Francisco, San Bruno, Pacifica, hey, this is a once in a lifetime, we'll only charge you 25%. Something like that. In other words, it's better to have a piece of the pie than no pie at all. But I don't want you to be limited by just the 75%. Oh, well, we don't have 75%, we can't do this. No, I want you to do it, even if you have less than 75%, but I was hoping that any Daly City resident would have higher priority.
Definitely, yes.
What do you think? Does that
Yes,
sound like a good idea?
That's a perfect idea. Yes.
I want to see you succeed. I think youth sports is very important. I'll share this with you. It was in 1983. You said 1979. Denise is trying to think, well, where's he going with this? 1983, when I came home from work, my daughters signed up my 9-year-old son to play Pop Warner football. And when he started playing, they had to give the coach his inhaler. And what such a great program that was, because I met many of friends, and especially Miss Reina Meafua of Pacific Islanders together. And after playing for a few number of years, that could have been the best thing for him because he no longer needs that inhaler, and it really worked out well. And as Mr. Schultz had made mention, it sounds like this basketball competitiveness is kind of like it's a way, it's a release of maybe internal strife and through diplomacy and playing basketball. So I commend you for this. I am a proponent to see this go, and I would like to do anything. I like to see our city do anything to help this be successful and break down the limitations that you have put in your presentation. So that's why I brought that up. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and that's all I have.
Of course. Basketball is my favorite sport. And yeah, I mean, growing up, basketball leagues, high school basketball leagues, they were like, it taught me a lot. And I feel like it was a way to get close with my family, allowed to be mentored by generationally. I had uncles on my team as well. So like, Tom, let's put together a team. No. But since it's the Mayor's Cup, I hope mine will be actually 4 points and, no, I'm just playing. Just joking. But I think this is an excellent idea, and I'm glad that we were able to have this this opportunity to do something that is positive for the community. And again, basketball is my favorite sport. Maybe not just present, but maybe I could play. We'll see. I'll be like, sub right now after 2 minutes of running. One question would be, okay, so is it going to be like full court, half court? Is it going to be, how's the, depending on how many teams?
No, it's going to be full court. Yeah,
Full court for
regular,
all?
regulation.
Regulation?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to like rethink about participating now. If it was half court, I'm joking. All right, so I think everybody has been able to say what they want to say. So can I get a motion?
Motion to approve this item?
Second.
We got a motion for a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you in March.
Congratulations.
That's exciting.
Moving on to item number 13, finding of public convenience and necessity, PCN-8-24-16615 to sell alcoholic beverages for off-site consumption at DC Market at 6825 Mission Street, type 21 license. So, welcome, Brian.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. The next item is a request for a finding of public convenience and necessity for DC Market. The applicant has filed an application with ABC Alcoholic Beverage Control to sell beer, wine, and distilled spirits, which is a type 21 license for off-site consumption at the existing convenience store located at 6825 Mission Street. Approximately 20% of their display area of the existing market would be dedicated to the alcoholic beverage sales. ABC has determined that a finding of public convenience and necessity by the Daly City Council is necessary before it can issue the license. The census tract in which the store is located is considered by ABC as overconcentrated by 3 Type 21 licenses. The approval of this request would make the area overconcentrated by 4 Type 21 licenses. In considering the request, the City Council must determine whether the issuance of the license will serve public convenience and necessity. I'm available to answer any questions you may have. Additionally, we have the store owner, Mr. Nasher, who can answer additional questions and also would like to speak to you on regarding his request.
Would you like to come down?
Hello, good evening. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members. Thank you, staff, everybody. Thank you very much. I have, as he mentioned, my own business, DC Smart Market, located at 6825 Mission Street. The business, before they banned the flavored, tobacco flavored, before it was good. But after they ban it, the business is very bad. It's it's like almost run out of business. And this is the only business for me and my family. I have 5 kids. And I am thinking to sell alcohol in my business. I am sure this will increase the revenue of my income, so I can stand or walk on my feet, or at least can support my family.
Okay. Well, thank you for your comments. Guess we'll go ahead and open up to my colleagues for questions or discussion.
Thank you so much, Mayor, on this item. Where exactly is 6825 Mission Street? Like, isn't this close to Jefferson High School?
Yes.
It's like 3 blocks.
3 blocks?
About 3 blocks.
3 blocks away from Jefferson High School?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and then I think I'm going to ask, thank you for your presentation, being here today. I'd like to ask staff to see if we have, if we could pull up the map that shows all of the areas where there is alcohol sold.
So the map, the location map was an attachment to the staff report that was provided to you. More specifically, it is, I just saw it.
If I may.
It's located, sorry.
I believe we are trying to pull it up on.
Oh, good, thank you.
Okay, located on the east side of Mission between Gambetta and East Lake Avenue.
Yeah, I mean, I bring up Jefferson High School because it's so close to the high school, and you know, to me, knowing that there's a reason why I think we're in this place, because it has to come to us to approve these type of licenses. I understand right now this is a smoke shop, and now you want to add liquor to your business. You know, as a local policymaker, it's important to look at the health and well-being of the students. I mean, if they're so close to that area, that's just for me. I think it's pretty close to Jefferson High School. That's just my comment at this point, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Yeah, I guess it would be more for Brian, but I guess I can ask you too. Were you planning on locking the liquor like they do at Safeway? In the cabinets?
It's behind me. It will be.
But locked? No, behind you, but not out front where people can just grab it?
No one can touch it.
May I clarify
Yeah.
on that question? So
Thank you.
the floor plan that Mr. Nasher provided, there's a counter, so you can't go behind the counter. The counter you walk into the store and walk up to the counter, and the alcohol sales would be behind the counter. So the public wouldn't be able to walk up, open up a cooler, and grab something out of the cooler.
So, okay, and I see here in the report that we are already oversaturated, or, I mean, overconcentrated, is that the correct word?
Yes.
In giving permits out for the liquor license in this area?
So if there are currently 3 more than what ABC would normally allow in that census tract, and if this item is approved, there will be four over what they would ordinarily allow. So in that census tract, ABC would normally allow one type 21 license, and there are currently 3.
Yeah.
And so this would be a total of 4.
So I share the Councilwoman's Manalo's concern, because we all know from Jefferson is they walk those kids are always walking down Mission. When they leave school or come to school, a lot of them walk. And it's a walking community anyway. And the Marchbank Park I see is very close to the Jefferson High School. And I don't know if it's appropriate to ask if you looked into any other kind of products. I know it's a smoke shop, but given that, like you said, economic times, and that we're trying to create health and in our communities for the families. Like you said, you have a family, and I know we have a Daly City Youth Center, and that they're trying to help people with sober living. And there's been quite a lot of that, and with even young people. And so that's a big concern. And children are under a lot of stress right now, and adults as well. And I know that you would be a good, from your background, I know that you don't have any violations or anything like that. But it's a big concern that is right there, and it's concentrated so much. If there's any other products or a shift that you could do in your business to do something that would be attractable to healthy or to some kind of market, because it is a tough market. And for you, it's a lot of competition on Mission Street. There are a lot of smoke shops. So that in itself is very competitive in that area, and the vaping and things like that. So my concern is, again, we all know that the Jefferson students walk up and down, and everybody's down with the families, and we're trying to, again, create. We just heard the basketball with the health and the reminder of that. And so for me, that's a big concern. And maybe it could be a positive shift in your business. I'm not here to give you suggestions, but again, I have to share those concerns. And with the young people gaining access, and I am familiar, I don't know if our chief has it or not, but I had heard, not you, but in the area that they have been able to access the alcohol from people purchasing it of age, and then they come legally, like a legal person would come in and purchase an adult, and then they go down, which is not your fault, and then with the kids. So it's a high concentration of alcohol. So I'll leave that for right now in case I have any more questions. Thank you very much, Mayor, at this point. But thank you also for being here and being a business person and trying to make it for your family.
Thank you, Councilmember DG Vondi. Councilmember Perano.
I thought, may I ask a question? Would it be appropriate to ask police representation to speak, Chief?
Yeah.
Would that be okay? So,
thanks, Teresa.
Yeah, no problem. So I guess the question is, how is alcohol consumption, the children, the teens, all that, what's happening on Mission Street?
Underage too.
And underage drinking, yeah.
Thank you, Teresa.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
Councilmember.
Thank you for the question. It's kind of a difficult one to answer. When we do the stats based on the request for the district or the area, we can pull stats, but it's hard to identify what the stat actually attaches to, whether it's we had, just as an example, 288 alcohol and theft-related cases within a 5-year period in a given area that we kind of chose. Now, depending on where you draw those boundaries, what district you look in, whether or not it's theft-related for alcohol or DUI, I don't know how you necessarily attach that to the store location itself or the overconcentration. I think the better way for me to answer this is kind of an anecdotal perspective of what we just see in the field in general, and the challenges that we see with Thornton High School being down the street, Jefferson High School being across the street, Mission Plaza, which is highly traveled and frequented, as well as Mission Street. The transitory, both vehicle and pedestrian traffic up and down Mission, it's kind of a challenging environment. We talked about overconcentration, which is shown by the map here. We've had some issues that we have concerns about when we look at one of the stores that's a block or so up on the other side of the street was targeted for a burglary attempt where they ran the vehicle into the front of the store to try and gain access. It's It's a very busy location with a lot of access to children, especially during the day, and it's kind of in a residential neighborhood. So while I have a ton of stats, it's really difficult to say the stat applies to the problem or the issue that we're discussing. It's more kind of an anecdotal perspective of what we see on a day-to-day basis in the field, if that helps.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Thank you, Mayor. I was wondering as to the other locations, is this correct as it indicates, Mr. Palin, on the staff report? You got 7369 Mission Street, 6775 Mission Street, 6843 Mission Street, and you also have School Street, 82 School Street, and 6967 Mission Street. And today we're talking about
So these, the ones that you just mentioned are the 5 existing type. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Let me correct that. Those are both Type 20 and Type 21 licenses. Type 20 means beer and wine for off-site consumption, whereas Type 21 allows beer, wine, plus distilled spirits for off-site consumption. So the 5 that are listed here are of both types. And it specifies, for example, School Street is Type 20 only.
Right.
Daly City Market at 6775 Mission is Type 20 only. The other 3 existing are a Type 21 license, and those are the existing issued licenses in that census tract.
So what I'm looking at is, well, first of all, it's down the block from Spicy House.
Yeah, the restaurant. Yeah.
I was kind of perked up and got the city managers there and Leilani. But the closest is 6843 Mission Street, which is Lucky.
Correct.
Okay. All right. That's all I needed to know. Thank you so much.
Let's see here. I think I do hear you as a small business person trying to raise your family. But when we think about making decisions that are for the overall public, these are one of the type of decisions where we have to look at like the overall perception of our community and the amount of different access to alcohol. I think when we talk about places that have an over concentration of alcohol licenses, you know, I've been on this, I want to be on this position where, you know, we don't reinforce the stereotype of like places where we over concentrate alcohol licenses in neighborhoods that are already filled with liquor stores to begin with. I mean, it's not my jurisdiction to tell like what type of business you want to run. But for me, I just think in terms of the perception and exposure to the many forms of liquor accessible on that street, it just feels like, as a father as well, it feels I wouldn't want that in my neighborhood. Yeah. With that, I know that if there's any more questions or comments. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Thank you, Mayor. I was just holding off till I get all the information and hearing from my colleagues, but I want to give a comment before this matter is taken to a vote. First of all, sir, I would say I received your correspondence earlier, and I read it, and you mentioned the same this evening. And what I'm hearing is that due to the passing of the no-flavored tobacco, has caused your business to suffer. And if I were in your shoes, I'd probably try to come up with some way to keep my business running as well. And you said that this evening, that you chose to request permission for the off-sale of liquor, beer or wine, and that was your alternative to help perhaps bring back your business. But at the same time, I believe that we have to make a just decision on what's best for the community. Everything we do here, we always think of our community, and given the information that we've obtained with being an overabundance of licenses already in the area, I'm left with one thought. Well, not actually a thought, but a quote. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of one. And that's what I'm going to be considered, given all the facts that I have received here in front of me this evening when I provide my vote. But I appreciate you at least taking the initiative to come here before us to decide on this matter. Thank you, Mayor. That's all for me.
Any other questions, comments from the dais? No? Okay, so can I get a motion to adopt the resolution by roll call vote? Oh, wait.
If I may,
sorry.
just through,
Go ahead.
through the chair. So this is a recommendation that there are two options because this is a finding of public convenience. So you can either deny the request or
Oh, yeah.
approve it.
So what's,
Yes.
I couldn't hear.
Point of clarification, Madam City Attorney, can a motion be placed on the floor to vote? Oh, we have to indicate either or.
Yes, there
As a
should be an
form of a
affirmative
motion.
vote for either
Oh,
or.
I got it.
See?
Thanks, Teresa.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so can I, so there's two options on the floor. The city council may desire to deny the request that the public convenience or necessity would be served by issuance of a type 21 license to sell beer, wine, and distilled spirits at DC Market. And then find the persons living in Census Tract 6006 are not adequately served by the existing alcohol beverage sales outlets, and that the public convenience or necessity would be served by the issuance of a license for the off-sale of beer, wine, and distilled spirits by DC Market located at 6825. So what we're trying to ask is, can we get a roll call vote to deny?
You'd
No,
have to
that'd
have a
be
motion.
Motion.
Oh, motion,
That-
my bad.
Then you can call for a vote.
Yeah, a motion to deny, is that correct?
Either one.
Are you making a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, so that's a motion.
Glenn
We
Sylvester,
would
I'll
need a
second.
second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. Oh, roll call, sorry about that. I've been doing all these voice votes all day.
Deny, so.
Ms. Giovanni?
To deny is a yes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ms. Perano?
Yes.
Mr. Sylvester?
Glenn Sylvester, aye?
Ms. Manalo?
Aye.
Dr. Rod?
Aye. So, motion is denied. Is that correct? Yes. Thank you, City Attorney. Thank you for coming through,
Yeah,
and hopefully we
thank
could
you
work.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. The next part of our agenda is appointments for board commission membership committee appointments. Do we have any nominate or appointees? I have one. I'd like to appoint Dr. Valerie Francisco Chavez to the Women's Committee.
Second?
I have a first. Do I have a second?
Aye.
Oh, wait.
Second.
Okay, my bad. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right. Any other board or commission? No. Okay. Council committee reports. Number 14.
Committee. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that us? Okay. Let me write down what I have my notes here. Okay, so we had a finance ad hoc committee meeting with myself and Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester. We talked about an IT master plan that we discussed and cybersecurity. And one thing that we discussed is this the notion that this is a very, very much needed master plan to talk about cybersecurity, especially with history, with cyber attacks within our city, and it'll be coming up in a future city council meeting. I'll pass it on to Vice Mayor if there's anything else added on that I missed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ditto.
Okay. Okay, great. Is that, I think that was it.
I got one.
Oh, yeah, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to report that on February 7th, the mayor and I met as part of the Ethics Committee. During this meeting, we discussed consideration of proposed resolution concerning internal discipline and censure for public officials. This draft policy will be prepared for review by all of City Council. We will move forward to receiving a draft of this policy for City Council's consideration. Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, I believe, and City Attorney, if you can help me, I believe we're one of the cities in the county that don't have a policy. And I think that it is something that's necessary for not just our council, but setting precedents for future council members. Okay. Any other city council reports? Okay. Seeing none, let's go on towards, my bad. No more council committee reports. We'll go down to 15 city council reports.
Can
Yes.
I?
Councilmember
Things
Bryan.
like attendant, right?
Yes, please, yes.
Make sure I'm saying it at the right place. So many of us were at, and hands are all up here, the Lunar New Year celebration.
Nice.
What an amazing event. I will just say was, even though we held it inside, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect, right? And my favorite part, and I know everybody all have favorite parts, my favorite part was watching the dragons go up the steps. They went all the way to the top. And they, you do realize when you're looking at it that there's these little children under there or people under there walking. So it was a beautiful event. That's what I would say. It's to keep my comments short. I attended the State of the Cow Palace event. I was happy to see our city mayor and Tatum, there you are. Maybell was there, Jesselyn came by. And it was a really great event to be able to hear what the Cow Palace have been doing and how they're almost totally booked for 2025. So it was a great event. And then I was blessed to be able to take a little tour of and Jimmy, I don't know his last name, city manager, Tom. Jimmy gave us, what was his last name?
Jimmy Ford from Ring of Fire.
Yes, Jimmy Ford from Ring of Fire. And so you don't realize it, but they have an entire gym and 2 boxing rings back there.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty amazing, and that is open to the public, youth and whomever else would like to go work out. And I don't know a lot about it. I don't know if you could mention a nice little plug for them.
Yeah, no, they've set up. They were previously in Brisbane in Bayshore, and the Cow Pals work with them to get a facility there, and he offers free training and lessons to youth.
Wow.
So a lot of that work is free.
Pretty amazing.
Yes.
And anybody under 18, it's free.
Yes.
So, there's a place and you can go work out. And it was, I'd never been up close to there. They were boxing and working out. So it was pretty, it was a great event. And then I also most heartfelt, well, 2 things before I do the last one. The 3 of us were at the Holy Angels second annual gala, Jesselyn and Pam and I, and we got to see the youth of Holy Angels sing and dance and such, and it was a lovely event. The food was yummy, and it was at Brotherhood Masonic Center, and it was a nice event. I know someone else might want to speak about it, but that was really nice. But the last thing was I was honored on behalf of our mayor as well as Councilmember Jesselyn Manalo. We were at Staff Sergeant Yoon Hop. He had a service at Doug and Sarah Mortuary. He was a World War II missing in action POW. He was 20 years old in World War II. He was a U.S. Army Air Force and he was in a plane, and it was shot down with enemy fire, and he was captured, and he was never found until June 2024, where they found him. And he, what was so beautiful was his sister was 95 years old, and she was able to welcome him home, and that was pretty amazing. And I was honored to be able to sing for him as well. So I know in case Councilmember Jesselyn Manalo would like to speak a little bit more, but it was an honor to be there. And I think, that's it. So that's my report. Thank you.
Right. Any other city council reports?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you. I just wanted to say Happy Lunar New Year to everyone, and my mic is not on. But it was just wonderful, as mentioned, to see the second, for us now, annual Lunar New Year event. And the hope is that it gets bigger and bigger, and that it continues on. And so that was really wonderful to see. The rain didn't even deter people to come. It was really wonderfully done. I also was able to celebrate in Chinatown for the day of Lunar New Year over there. And with our celebration here, I remember the silver dragon lion dancers were like, do we go into the chambers? And I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, because that brings good energy and takes away the bad spirits, right?
Wow.
And so they came in around, and it was really, they blessed this place, and to take out all the bad spirits. And then I joined Nicole Sandula's retirement from Bosca. I want to say thank you to also Director Josh Cosgrove, who was there. And then I got the very, very tail end of the State of Cow Palace, just to be able to say hello to some colleagues and the city manager. Then also just recently, San Francisco City Hall, Mayor Lurie had a Lunar New Year event there in San Francisco. And then also another New Year celebration with some medical doctors in which Vice Mayor and Councilmember Perano was present. And then Really enjoyed the wonderful Saturday, the crab feed, and had the honor of sitting with our Mayor Das Magwal and also his lovely wife. And a shout out to Opal. It never fails. It really is amazing what she's able to do. But we know that goes good to the scholarship. So amazing to everyone that supported in that respect. And then lastly, second to last is Holy Angels' second annual gala. And it's just great to see. My little date was my daughter Giselle. So she was with me that evening. But as we talked about what a miracle it was that the staff sergeant Jan Hop was able to, they were able to find his remains and bring him back home. When you look at the sacrifice, or even him as he was young, 20 years old.
Yeah.
And I know that Mayor, through your ethnic studies background, will appreciate that this is like one of those untold stories around how also in the Chinese American community, there were Asian Americans, right, that fought in World War II and were the heroes and heroines. And to be able to hear some closure around this American heroine of Chinese descent just brought me back to how important it is to document the stories and seeing the next generation in his family be able to honor what we do say is one of the greatest generations, those, in that era. And so it was very humbling to be there. Thank you, Councilmember Prano, for letting me know about it. I was able to join and see that reunion and celebration. And you sang wonderfully to honor that family. And there were folks that came that didn't, had no relations, but just was there and found out by the news. And so it was an honor that our city hosted that at Dugan's, I think. When you think about, you think about those documentaries or stories, that's definitely one of those, right? Like, how does that happen? But it was the tenacity of the 94-year-old sister that wanted him home. It was really through her continuing to fight to see her brother home. So thank you so much.
Any city council reports?
Well, everybody's touched on all the other events. I just wanted to say to all the departments with the crab feed, they knocked it out of the park with those baskets. And to the Daly State Public Library Association, I mean, it was pretty impressive, I think. And I think that it made for an additional, like, how are they going to do it next year? I don't know, but HR and wastewater and everyone participated. I think there was a little competition between those baskets, I think, when they were walking around. But they all did really well. And, of course, as it was mentioned, Opal, and then I saw Jen and our director running around giving the prizes, and very active, very full of life. And I thought the mayor, for the presentations, I think it was a lot of good energy, a lot of positivity and good energy. Of course, the food is always fabulous, and they let you take food home. That's on top of it. So I encourage everybody. I know it was sold out, but get your tickets early for next year, because I'm sure it'll be coming again. And then Councilwoman Perano did mention about the Holy Angels. I love that the sisters were dancing as well. And I saw you dancing with one of the principal. I caught that on there. I don't know if it's on film, but it might be. But it was full of life as well, for good cause. Great parents. a lot of great parents and supporting children. And it doesn't matter where the children are. We should support all the children. And I know that it's a sentiment that's held by this council. And I know they're going to have future events as well. And that was fabulous. And I have to say, I was told that approximately 300 or a little over 300 people attended our Lunar New Year, at least. I think someone that was counting, and I thought that's pretty impressive. So between the artists and Keith O DJing and all the beautiful artwork, oh, incredible. And the little dragons, like you said, and the little lions, it was fantastic. So all the vendors, and even it was great to see that people came here and for our council to know that the Hep B continues because it's so prevalent that, to make sure the community stays healthy. So I think that we did a great job in presentation. The beautiful artists that did a lot of the, do they call it calligraphy as well in Chinese? Or the artists, they were very well known. So, and then the mayor about this one lady who will be meeting with him about other programs and expanding of interest for many different cultures. So I thought it was beautiful. So that's it for now, and thanks. It was great. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Oh, I want to give a shout out to the mayor. He was a great MC. I don't know if anybody of you missed it at the Lunar New Year. I was like, everybody said, who is that? I said, that's the mayor. He was a great MC.
Well, thank you for the responsibility of the mic. Yes, Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I apologize. I couldn't make the Lunar New Year event here at City Hall, but I did take part in trying to get donations for it, and I'm glad to see that it was very successful. On the issue of the crab feed, I wanted to bring this up. Apparently, this year it was different for me. I sat with some Daly City folks, Owens and Janice Daniels, and you see the mayor nodding his head because they are constituents here in Daly City. Dr. Owen Daniels is a psychiatrist. And Janice Daniels has been, I think, was she a vice principal of schools in San Francisco and teaches Spanish. And, they say you never judge a book by its cover. She's African American, and if you said something to her in Spanish, you'd be pleasantly surprised because she teaches Spanish. But she spoke with one of our commissioners on, I think it's arts and culture, and she hit it off with our mayor because she's part of academia. And I introduced them to our city manager. And, to see folks in a different light other than always in a business setting is something that I really appreciate a lot. And there I got to see staff in a different light rather than in a business sense. And I'm not going to tell you the name, but one of the staff members of Daly City has been doing massages for 27 years. Damn. You probably know who that is, and the first name begins with the letter A. And I met her, but I've seen her, but I never knew when you get a little bit close, oh, hi, good to meet you. And Daly City is like family to me. Everybody brings something to the table, no matter what level you are. And that became more apparent for me when I got to see them at the crab feed. And nothing else can be said about Opal. We all know of the great job that she does. That is some of the best minestrone soup I have had in my whole life. I have never had something as chunky as that. And she kind of saw the smile on my face, and later on while I'm eating, she brings me 2 cups. And as Councilmember DiGiovanni says, you got food to go? But I didn't ask for it, but she saw the light in my eyes, and she brought me 2 cups. And that brings me to another point. There's only 6 of us at the table, the Daniels and their guests, Sean and Gloria. And we told them out front, we can eat some crab and we expect to get 5 trays. And you know, and you know what, and you know what Opal said? Well, I can guarantee you 3. And you know what? That was good enough. She was right. So, to the city manager, how many departments do you have?
That was great.
How many departments?
10 departments.
10 departments. So that means you had about 10 baskets there?
I think we did.
Because
11 total.
11 total baskets.
Right, fire police.
Well, I'm very proud to say that Councilmember Jocelyn Manalo got one of those baskets. At my table, we got 3 of them. Oh, 4 of them. So not only was it a great time, but the support that these folks, everyone had for Daly City, it's to be, staff should be commended for the great work you do. And I promise you I will do whatever I can not to ever miss one again. But it was a lot of fun. So thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. That's all I got. I'm just so happy, so ecstatic. Thank you.
Wonderful job, staff, for all the different events that has came our way, from Lunar New Year to the crab feed. I think my colleagues already said everything that I wanted to say. But beautiful, beautiful job. And, you know, there's, for those out in public, there's gonna be more events coming on the way. So please come through and check out their social media. But I just want to recognize a couple things that I was able to attend. There's a person that both myself and Councilman Manalo looked up to. I was fortunate enough to participate just for a hot second to meet with, or to attend Bernadette C's retirement. Bernadette is, I would say, the godmother of the South of Market area, known as Soma Pilipinas, which is a Filipino-American cultural district in San Francisco. She's the person that was involved with the Filipino-American Development Foundation, which is a fiscal sponsor for many Filipino-American orgs. Her father is a legendary Dr. C that purchased a building on 6th and Mission. And the whole philosophy and intention of that area was to serve the South of Market neighborhood, particularly with Filipino immigrants that were coming into the neighborhood. So I was able to just drop by on January 31st and, you know, wish her thank you for all the service and being a mentor to myself and Councilmember Manalo. And fun fact, she was actually a neighbor to Tita Perla. So Tita Perla used to watch her kids. And it's crazy when I say, like, you know, when you pass things down, a lot of that's love and that dedication to service got passed down to Bern and her family. And her family has played such a huge role in terms of, like, the Filipino American community from Soma and throughout the Bay Area, and I would also say throughout the nation. So after the crab feed, I went to the Kapo Culture Center. I was able to give a couple of commendations to 2 of my friends that have 2 books that are out. One is to Berna Anat, and she presented her book on this book about financial literacy, and it's called Money Out Loud. She's a social media content creator. Her tone of writing is in a way that where young people could understand relationships to money. So the way that she wrote her book was to understand, like, immigrants, particularly Filipino immigrants' relationship to money. It's either we're not spending money at all, or we spend and trying to keep up with the Joneses when you don't have money at all. And so what she was talking about was, what are ways how we can become more financial literate, but then also connected to our relationship to scarcity, right? So that was a really great book. And, you know, she gifted some books to some of my students about a couple of years back, and it's been kind of like life-changing for them. And then a new book that came out was by my friend Bianca Louie, Mabute Louie. She was a former teacher for the nonprofit that I work for, Pinoy Educational Partnerships. She's in the middle of her doctorate program at Rice University in Texas. And she got published with a book, and that's kind of unheard of. Usually you get your book after you write your dissertation, and then you get a tenure track and you write your book. But she came out to fame through her comic book strip that she created during the onset of COVID-19 and talking about Asian American identity and survival and activism and service. And so she came out with a book called Unassimilable. And I was just happy to see folks gather at the Couple Cultural Center. And it felt like a mini reunion with all these people that either former students, current students, that were all there just to actually purchase books and listen to people talk about their work. Another thing I want to share is there's been a growing hysteria with immigration and customs enforcement in our communities. I know that there has been false reports that have been happening, not just only in our community, but also throughout California. But I just want to remind the folks out there that, you know, we are a sanctuary state by the California Values Act, SB 54. The law prohibits local law enforcement from assisting in federal immigration enforcement, including detaining individuals for ICE or notifying ICE of a person's release from custody. Also to remind our public that we are also Daly City is a sanctuary-friendly city. So, and that we also have our own policies that we were able to solidify when I got onto council a few or 5 years ago. And that, you know, knowing Daly City's the town of immigrants, the city of immigrants, just want y'all to know that, you know, we're supporting you all, both undocumented and documented folks. And, you know, we've had this theme of community and we watch out for one another. And so I just want to just make sure that our community knows that we are protective of our folks here and that we have policies to protect our people here in Daly City. Okay. All right, so I'm going to throw it down to our city manager if there's any reports for our staff.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I was a successful bidder of a basket as well. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
No, those are amazing baskets. It was amazing. Okay, thank you, city manager. I don't see any listings for any memory of adjournments.
Instead of an adjournment for someone who's passing, I wasn't at the craft feed because my grandson, Gabriel, turned 2.
Oh.
So on a positive note, I will say that I will definitely be there next year. I can't wait. And I understand, I heard bidding, so it wasn't just a raffle. I can't wait. I love to go to these things. So I'd like to say that perhaps we could adjourn in happy birthday to Gabriel.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah, isn't that like a positive one?
Do I have to make a motion for that? Can I make a motion
I'd like to add one more since we're doing an birthday. If I may. To my sister Carleanne.
Oh, yeah.
It was her
Oh, yes.
birthday yesterday.
And another happy birthday.
Yeah, so let's do that.
A lot of happy
And
birthdays.
I would add on as well. I'd be really messed up if I didn't add this, but this is also
Your
for
daughter?
my
Your
daughter,
daughter.
who turned
17
17 last week.
Oh my God.
And then also, last but not least, I'll say Vice Mayor who turned his birthday in January 31st, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Councilmember. I mean, there's no hiding from you. And while we're on that same vein, I would like to wish a happy birthday to my daughter, which is the 9th. Was that yesterday?
Oh yeah, it was yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
Same, yeah.
And she's 33. So,
Right on.
wow, very good idea, Councilmember Peranio. Very good. Thank you, Councilmember Manalo.
So with that, happy birthday to everyone, and we'll see you again at the.
Usually on the count of 3, you're supposed to sing happy birthday.
Oh.
It's good, Mr. Mayor. It's all right. All right, we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So with that, I'd like to adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everybody, and be safe, and I'll see you back in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. That was good.
Yay. I love it. I'm positive.